So, you probably think you know what meditation's all about. But what if the real science behind it reveals something, well, completely unexpected? Today, we are diving into the surprising effects of meditation that go way, way beyond just finding a calm mind.
I mean, when most of us hear the word meditation, we picture someone in a calm, blissful state of total relaxation, right? But what if I told you that's only a tiny, tiny piece of the real picture? Because when researchers actually start looking closer, they uncover a story that's so much more complex and, honestly, just astonishing. We're about to go on a little journey, from what we all think we know to what the cutting-edge science is discovering. So, let's get right into it. What is science actually revealing about this ancient practice?
First things first, it really helps to think of meditation not as one single thing, but more like a giant map, because it is definitely not a monolith.
Yeah, a much better way to describe it is as a broad group of mental practices. So think of it less like one single recipe and more like an entire cookbook for your mind.
You've got silent Zen meditation, guided body scans, even walking meditation. The sheer variety means there is almost certainly a style out there that's going to click with your specific needs and your personality.
So for example, take a look at mindfulness. It focuses on being aware of the present moment, which makes it awesome for beginners. Then you have something like transcendental meditation, which uses a silent mantra for really deep relaxation. And then there's loving kindness, which is all about cultivating compassion, a super powerful tool for emotional healing. See? They're all different tools for different jobs.
And this is where using those different tools can lead to some very different results. It's time to put that old assumption about simple relaxation to the test.
We've all heard this a million times, right? Meditation calms you down by kicking your parasympathetic nervous system, that's your rest and digest response, into high gear. And this whole process is measured by something called vagal tone.
But here is the wild twist. A really fascinating study in Frontiers in Cardiovascular Medicine took a close look at something called heartfulness meditation, and it completely flipped that whole expectation on its head. Instead of finding more calm, they found more alertness, an activation of the sympathetic nervous system.
I mean, listen to this. The researchers' own conclusion was super direct. They said that for this particular practice, that classic calming effect we all expect, well, it just wasn't there.
So what in the world does this mean? It means that some types of meditation might actually be tuning our systems for readiness and alertness, not just for winding down and chilling out. They can be energizing, sharpening our focus in a way that's totally different from just plain old relaxation.
Okay, so beyond the surprising immediate effects, let's zoom out and look at the powerful long-term payoff for our most vital organ. Because it turns out a consistent meditation practice seems to have this incredibly profound protective effect on the brain that can literally last a lifetime. You know, as we all get older, our brains naturally change. Brain volume can shrink, the connections between neurons can weaken, and inflammation can take up. These are pretty much the typical biological signs of an aging brain.
So a study from some Harvard-affiliated researchers, which was highlighted in Psychology Today, asked this exact question. Could meditation actually counteract the brain's aging process?
And the result was, well, it was stunning. They found that the brains of advanced meditators were, on average, nearly 6 years younger than their actual chronological age. Just let that sink in for a second. 6 years. So how on earth did they figure that out? They used this really cool tool called the Brain Age Index. By analyzing the brain's electrical activity while a person is asleep, which is when the brain does all its crucial maintenance work, researchers can estimate a biological brain age and then compare it to a person's real age. So how does this magic work? Well, research points to a few different pathways. Meditation can actually increase gray matter in areas of the brain important for attention and emotional regulation. It also seems to reduce brain inflammation. And get this, it may even help protect the little caps on our chromosomes, called telomeres, which are directly linked to how quickly our cells age. Incredible.
Okay, so with all of this powerful science, from boosting your alertness to literally turning back the clock on your brain, how can you find your own personal path to get started?
It really all comes down to this. There's no single best kind of meditation. The most effective practice for you is going to be the one that just feels right, the one that resonates with you, and the one you can actually stick with.
And the folks at Metatopia suggest this really simple 3-step approach. First, figure out your goal. What are you hoping to get out of it? Second, know yourself. Are you the kind of person who needs to move, or do you prefer stillness and structure? And third, Just start experimenting. Try a few different guided practices and just see what clicks.
The science is pretty clear. Meditation is so much more than just a simple relaxation technique. It's a powerful tool for reshaping our nervous system and protecting our brains for the long haul. The potential is right there, just waiting.